Hi everybody, Kat from Creative Crafts, and today's DIY is how you're going to make cement letters, and I'm going to do it two different ways. So if you want to know how to do this, like I always say, watch further. The things that you're going to need for this video is, of course, old cardboard. I have bought boxes from things that I bought, and also boxes from Amazon, of course. And then I have also a letter that I decided that I wanted to do a different way, so I made a printout. And now then with this printout, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mold from the pieces that I made from each corner. It's two for each side. One here, two, so you make two of these ones. It all depends what size you want. I don't usually put sizes because of the fact that everyone makes them different. So everybody, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to tape this all together, and then I'm going to be using the saran wrap. So let's find the ends. So I'm just, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put tape across the four bottoms here. So I really want to make sure that it's even so that it can stand on its own. So even if you once you get the cement on, you're going to be able to file it down if the bottom has any lumps on it or anything like that. That's one thing I could suggest to you. So now that you got this here, you can see that it's not totally all even. I just eyeballed it like I always do, but that really doesn't matter anything. So what I'm going to do now is I was going to wrap it with the tape first and then do this, but you know what? I'm going to take the saran wrap and take pieces of it. I'm not going to make the pieces too big. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first wrap the bottom area. Make sure that you got the bottom. And then what you can do is that's when you take your tape and this is just my suggestion on how you can waterproof when you put the cement on, because it's going to be wet, of course, because you add water to it. And I noticed that even if you use paper mache over it, it does make it stronger, but when you use cement on projects like this, what happens is that the water seeps through anyway, through the newspaper or the paper mache that you use, and it takes longer to dry. So what I suggest is that you put this plastic on it and try not to put the layers too thick onto the cement on top of here. Don't make it too thin either, because if you make it way too thin, that it's not going to work out anyway. So what I'm going to suggest you to do is go like this. And just fill it up. Make sure that you get all the areas that you really need to get. so that it's waterproof. So, and then here, just take the tape, put this up. It's not tight enough. The tape sticks to the saran wrap really well, so it's going to make it really tight here. I mean, don't worry about the lumps and everything, because you're going to go over the whole thing with tape anyway. So you're going to do this. Let's fill this whole thing up and cover it with the tape too at the same time. First the saran wrap, then the tape. So here you go. Like I showed you before, make sure that it's completely covered. You may have some pieces of the tape here. You can just always cut those ends right off. And make sure everything is totally flat where it's supposed to be, you know, on these two ends. And this one now is all done and ready. So now we're going to go and do the M now. And this is how you can do this. This will be really, this is going to really look nice. So now we're going to do the M. And what I suggest is you just take the tape first and you connect. Are these all the same size? So what you're going to do is you want to connect the, or is it this way? Nope, it's this way. And connect it. This is how you want to do it. You want to take your M and you just want to follow it until you have all the areas connected, and then you can make it even better when you're done. So you're going to do this to every edge where you put the tape connected, and you're going to do that and try to, you know, form it to go against the M. If you want, you can take the M and just tape it onto it. If you want to make sure that it stays in the form that you want, you can do this too. It's all up to you. So you're going to go like this. And you can do this, and then everything sticks together onto it. You're going to remember, once you pour the cement onto it, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to peel it all off anyway. So if you think that this is easier for you, then do it this way. I think I'm going to do it this way because to show you. If you want, you can use something to press down on it. Not too much. You don't want to rip it off. And then once you have this connected to the M, you can take the tape and cover the whole bottom area, because once you pour the cement out, you know it's going to seep out here, so it's better to cover all the areas where you think the cement can seep out. So let's do this, and then we'll go to the next step, which is doing the cement. So now what you're going to need for this video is, of course, cardboard box, saran wrap, and the methods you will see in each step that I have. And now it's time to cover this here with the cement, and we'll see how that is. So now what I'm going to do is I decided I want to get a popsicle stick because I'm going to need to level this out. This looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this on top of each area for now. This is just my kind of experiment, so if you want to do it this way here with the pouring, you can. It's also another way of doing it. But I want to try to see what I could do if I want to recycle. I can put many layers as I want on it. As you can see what I'm doing here. And I think that looks pretty good. Just gotta be fast because this is like after 15 minutes usually this will start hardening and then you won't be able to work with it anymore. So let's get this done. I want to have it a little thick, not too thin but not too thick, and you want to try to make it level. Make sure that it's to the level consistency that you want. If you put it to not level, the lettering's not going to look good. So, I just touched one of the other sides with my finger, damn it. So now I'm going to do this. So let's do this. I don't know what that is. Light, whatever. Just play with it until you have it level. And then when you get to the ends, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stick there we go. Just add some more stuff up here. And then take your popsicle stick and go down the sides very gently. And try not to go too close to the end where you've already put it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have, I might have to put more than one layer, of course. I should have made this a little tad bit thicker, but it's okay. It's fine the way it is. I'll have to deal with it another way. So now what I want to do is I want to try to get any big lumps that are here near the ends. Try to get them out of there because they will be harder to disconnect later. You know, any clumps. Since it's so thin, I will just leave it like this. And now that I have extra cement, I have these two plastic bowls. I'm just going to stick the rest of it in there. And maybe make 2 little candle holders out of it. I don't like to waste. You know that already. So, let's get another. Because I have to wait until this dries anyway. I knew that was going to happen. Damn it. So what I'm going to do now is go like this to it. See how it flattens out? And all the air pockets come up too. Same goes for this. Let's see, I had some of that there. So. And what I'm going to do now is right in the center, I am going to push this down. And then put this aside. And that's what you can do also with extra, let me put this down a little bit more. Extra cement. Find a plastic bowl or some kind of a cup. You can use a cup like this. Pour the cement inside, put a tea light inside it, wait for it to dry, harden of course, and that is done. I just noticed that this one seems to be a lot harder than this one here. This is just an experiment for me. So, well, I just want to see which way is better. And so far I noticed, let's see what happens once this is dry. See if I can sand it down. See how it looks. I mean, I will still like it. Of course, I will just maybe use some plaster of Paris on top of it if I can't sand it down to make it smooth. So now we will do this one here, which I'm going to make my cement mixture. And I'm going to make it a little bit thinner so I can just pour it inside. So let's go to that next step. Here I am again. Let's see if this was enough. I'm going to have to put more. This is really going to take a lot. doing this until it levels out over there. We want to make it level. And of course, should have used a smaller block thing, but yeah, that's me. I think I'm going to add just a bit more so that it's a little bit thicker. Well, maybe it's the same. No, just a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to add some more and wait till it dries, and then we'll go to the next step. So everyone, just as I suspected, the one with the pour came out much better than the one that I just covered. The one I covered seems to be I put it too thin. Maybe I should have put it thicker. So, and it didn't come out that well. It's very, brittle, as you can see. It's all coming apart. So, I do suggest that if you do something like this, maybe it's better that if you do the paper mache over it, not the tape. Because somehow this tape is not the best. And seems to be lifting. I'm going to still try to use this, and I'm going to make myself a different kind of clay. Instead of using cement, I'm going to use cornstarch and flour, which I'm going to make a clay out of it with PVA glue together, and that should be a little bit more stronger, stronger than cement. I just think it's because I put not enough, it was too thin. As you can see here, it broke off. And I'm going to leave this on here anyway. And I'm going to just do the back side first and try to fill up the gaps that are here, with that. And then let it dry and then go turn it around. And then I'm going to do the other side. And I'm going to try to make it pretty thick. So, this was just an experiment for myself. There's one thing I can tell you. Once you do the pouring, do not move or try to move the letter while it's curing. Because what happened with me, it broke here. It cracked because I moved it. If I wouldn't have moved it, it would have been perfect. This would have been perfect. What I like the most right now is the design that's on here, on this side, as you can see here. You can also see that here where I broke it. So, and I put here on top of this, here in this area, I put some PVA glue on top just to protect it a little bit. And this is not the side that I want showing. It's the cement part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand all this down. Or maybe I'll just leave it like this. I like the way it looks. I just don't like the way the crack is here. So I may end up just trying to fill it and then sand it down and then paint this whole thing. Maybe do something with it. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do with it right now. I don't want to do too much. So the next step, like I said, was I decided to use... I was going to use cornstarch and flour mixture, but I decided not to use that. I ended up using plaster of Paris. Here it's wall modeling clay mixture. But what I did is I took some of the pieces of the napkins from the napkin technique that I used to make the coasters. I had extra, so to recycle, like I always said. And what I did is I mixed this with more water than with the powder, so that it's really fluish, watery. Not so watery, but good enough. And I doubled the paper, and what I did is I put the paper on top, and then I put the clay, and then I did that all over. And then when I was done with that, by the time that was, because this clay here hardens very quickly, and it's pretty much getting hard now. And I just wanted to cover that other area where the tape was showing really fast. As you can see that It still has the cement on the other side, but now I made it a little bit more stable. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this whole thing with this extra napkin pieces. It's peeled from the back of the other napkins, that's what I did. And I'm going to do that to the other side too. And then once that is completely dry, the next step, what I wanted to do is make the molding clay a little bit thicker this time. But you got to remember, when you're working with this kind of clay, it's going to dry really quick. It gets starting to get hard fast. So if you're going to make the normal clay, what it says here, you follow the directions, like here, this one here, you follow the directions, it's going to get hard really quickly, because I did this for one of my videos. I used plaster of Paris bandages and to make a giraffe and an elephant. That is also on my videos, check that out. But right now I'm just going to do that to this technique here. I'm going to do that, which is easier. So once this is dried, I'm going to do the other side the same way. Like I said, you take the napkin, you double it, and you wet the bottom with the mixture that like you see here. A little bit thicker you would want to put it. Not too thick, but just thick enough so that when you can, when you go like this, you can stick this on. It helps, if you use this, it helps the letter from splitting like the M did. And, well, the M split because I moved it. I shouldn't have when it was wet. Like I said, I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to do the whole thing with this, totally covering this, and then we can go to the next step, is sanding and then coloring. So stay tuned. So everybody, I did all the steps that I wanted. I definitely like this method better than I like the one where I had all the cardboard wrapped together. With the mold is much better and it's easier. Don't have to do so much work to it. This one, if you want to have it the way I did it and you want to do recycling products, then I suggest you do this one here, the one with the cardboard wrapped up into a form like this, and you cover it with, the clay or cement, it's pretty thick stuff, so that it doesn't drip all over the place. But this one is just the pour. You make it a little bit thinner, and you pour it in a form, a mold, and it's done. So I don't really like the way it looks. This one, how it looks. I mean, this one looks pretty good, but what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cover it with the napkin technique, and so it'll match my living room or maybe my bedroom. I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, so I don't know if I'll use browns or blues. But this is the end of the video. I hope you like it. Give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Like I said, throughout the whole video, you'll see that what I've done, and this has maybe one layer of cement, and then 2 layers of plaster of Paris, I think it's called. And because you see there's like a gloss, I put some PVA glue mixed with water over it, so that because when you use plaster of Paris or normal plaster if you use it, when you touch it with your hand, it still feels powdery. So what I had to do was I did this here. I did it with the PVA with water, and so now that when I touch it, it's not going to be so powdery. So at the end of this video, you'll see the picture of the finished product. If you like it like this, you can leave it like this. You can paint it with acrylic paint. You can use the napkin technique. You can even use old newspapers with a napkin technique and make this as a newspaper camouflage, or whatever you want to call it, collage. You can do that too. So it doesn't matter what you want to use. You can use napkins, whatever. Do it the way you feel that it appeals to you and how it looks for you in your apartment, and what colors you want to use. Or you can just, like here with the cement, you can keep it as with the normal cement color. But I like it. I'm glad I did it. It was an interesting video. It was just like for something for me to find out what is the better way to make your letters. And my suggestion, as I will always say now, is the cement with the pouring comes out, the letters come out more stable and it's easier. So I made this one a little too big, but that's fine, I guess. We'll leave it like that. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Hi everybody, here's the finished product. I promised you a picture, but I decided to make a quick little video for the end of this video what I did with the napkin technique, as you can see here. I think it looks great, the both of them. It matches my room. My room is with blue, it has pink pillows and green. So that is the finished project after several weeks, I guess. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.